Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. Hope you're doing well. Well, Donald Trump did a speech last night. I'm telling you, the whole thing was full of shit, for real. And the president of Iran also did a 4-page letter to the American people. Now, it's really sad when the foreign president sounds more credible and talk with better sense than the sitting president of the United States that sounds like a 4-year-old when he talks. And everything he said in this letter made a lot of sense. Everything Donald Trump said when he addressed the country was full of crap. So I'm going to play what Donald Trump said. You know, it may turn your stomach for the next 18 minutes, but it is what it is. So, y'all, let's get to it because I'm going to do both Donald Trump and then we'll get into the letter written by the Iranian president. All right, so let me share my screen. My apologies for this torture. My deepest apology, because I cannot bear to listen to Donald Trump, but let's get into it, y'all. For real. Is that the, hold on one second. Is that the right one? This is. Okay. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. So this one is from C-SPAN. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My fellow Americans, good evening. Let me begin by congratulating the team at NASA and our brave astronauts on the successful launch of Artemis II. It was quite something. It will be traveling further than any manned rocket has ever flown and will very substantially pass the moon, go around it, and come back home from a distance that has never been done before. It's amazing. They are on the way, and God bless them. These are brave people. We want to God bless those 4 unbelievable astronauts. As we speak this evening, it's been just 1 month since the United States military began Operation Epic Fury, targeting the world's #1 state sponsor of terror, Iran. In these past 4 weeks, our armed forces have delivered swift, decisive, overwhelming victories on the battlefield. Victories like few people have ever seen before. Tonight, Iran's Navy is gone. Their Air Force is in ruins. Their leaders, most of them, terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak. Their ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons factories and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left. Never in the history of warfare has an enemy suffered such clear and devastating large-scale losses in a matter of weeks. Our enemies are losing in America, as it has been for 5 years under my presidency, is winning, and now winning bigger than ever before. Before discussing this current situation, I also want to thank our troops for the masterful job they did in taking the country of Venezuela in a matter of minutes. That hit was quick, lethal, violent, and respected by everyone all over the world. After rebuilding our military during my first term, we have by far the strongest military anywhere in the world. And now we're working along with Venezuela and are, in a true sense, joint venture partners. We're getting along incredibly well in the production and sale of massive amounts of oil and gas, the second largest reserves on Earth after the United States of America. We're now totally independent of the Middle East, and yet we are there to help. We don't have to be there. We don't need their oil. We don't need anything they have, but we're there to help our allies. Tonight, I want to provide an update on the tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran and discuss why Operation Epic Fury is necessary for the safety of America and the security of the free world. From the very first day I announced my campaign for president in 2015, I have vowed that I would never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. This fanatical regime has been chanting death to America, death to Israel for 47 years. Their proxies were behind the murder of 241 Americans in the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut, the slaughter of hundreds of our service members with roadside bombs. They were involved in the attack on the USS Cole, and they carried out the countless other heinous acts, including the just horrible, bloody atrocities of October 7th in Israel, something that most people have never seen anything like it. This murderous regime also recently killed 45,000 of their own people who were protesting in Iran. 45,000 dead. For these terrorists to have nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat. The most violent and thuggish regime on earth would be free to carry out their campaigns of terror, coercion, conquest, and mass murder from behind a nuclear shield. I will never let that happen, and neither should any of our past presidents. This situation has been going on for 47 years and should have been handled long before I arrived in office. I did many things during my 2 terms in office to stop the quest for nuclear weapons by Iran first, and perhaps most importantly, I killed General Qasem Soleimani in my first term. He was an evil genius, brilliant person, a horrible human being, however, the father of the roadside bomb, and he lived just horrible what he did. Iran would have been perhaps in far better, stronger position. Had he lived, we would have had probably a different conversation tonight. But you know what? We'd still be winning and winning big. And then very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal, a disaster. Obama gave them $1.7 billion in cash, green cash, took it out.
Okay, let me tell y'all something, because I've been reading a lot about the deal that Barack Obama did. When Donald Trump came into office, he tore the deal up. And everybody told him to keep that deal in place because it was the best deal the United States had with Iran. There was no other better deal than what Barack Obama did, but Donald Trump tore it all up. So anyway, Donald Trump is trying to negotiate. Let me show you how shady Donald Trump is. Donald Trump is now trying desperately to have have talks with Iran to negotiate. What he's trying to do is reintroduce Barack Obama's bill that everybody told him not to touch it because the deal was good. And Donald Trump is going to put his name on it. Yes, you heard me right. Donald Trump is trying to negotiate with Iran with the same exact deal from Barack Obama, but he's going to take Obama's name off of that same deal and put the Trump name on it. So much for all that high IQ and brilliance that you claim you got. You're doing just what y'all been doing for years, ripping off the dark people and putting your name on it. And it's not your work. It's not your deal. You did not come up with that deal. You did absolutely nothing. But that's what he is attempting to do. He's trying to bring back that same deal, but put his name on it. That's why your comb over look fucked up, Donald Trump. Your comb over looks real fucked up. All right, y'all, let's go on.
Out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had, flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran. And they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. It would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel right now, in my opinion, the opinion of a lot of great experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal. And I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them. My first preference was always the path of diplomacy, yet the regime continued their relentless quest for nuclear weapons and rejected every attempt at an agreement. For this reason, in June, I ordered a strike on Iran's key nuclear facilities, an Operation Midnight Hammer. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites. The regime then sought to rebuild their nuclear program at a totally different location, making clear they had no intention of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons. They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth. Iran's strategy was so obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible. And they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I have traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job." Every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. #1, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And #2, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible. They are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great big beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change, but regime change has occurred because of all of their original leaders' death. They're all dead. The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
Okay, so you heard this bullshit for 18 minutes and 28 seconds long. Straight bullshit, okay? Donald Trump wants to make it seem like those Iranians are groveling at his feet. Donald Trump, you are losing. Iran is kicking your ass every day. When do winners grovel at the feet of a loser? You know, this is right up there with white people used to make the claim that we can't make it without them. We need them. No, we don't. No, we don't. The only reason why it may look that way is because you had to sabotage everything up to make it look that way. But we don't need your ass. So at the end of the day, that's what he's trying to pull with the Iranians. Oh, they gonna need me. They gonna need to come and pray to my feet and bow down to us. They're not coming. They already told you multiple times, and they said it this week too, that they will determine when this war is over. And Donald Trump, you are not calling the shots. And they don't have to answer to you. They said it just this week. And he's still out here. Oh, yeah. We destroyed it all. You know, well, let me tell you what they did last night, because I told you I've been watching the war on live stream. They hit Israel's power company last night and put Israel in the dark. They hit it with 27 missiles, and all 27 missiles got through. There was no Iron Dome. That's how you know the Iron Dome is badly crippled or it's out of commission altogether. All 27 missiles got through and they hit Israel's power plant. And you could see the missiles coming in, you know, the glow of the missiles coming in, and all of Israel was in the dark last night. All of it. And I watched it. And it was nothing they could do to stop the missiles from coming in. So if everybody's dead and you obliterated everything, I tell you what, the Iranians are the most animated dead people I've ever seen in my life. Because they're kicking your ass and Netanyahu's ass. Okay, so they are the most animated, out of commission people I've ever seen in my life. And as far as everything getting better, no, Donald Trump, you can't make nothing better. You can't make nothing better. And that is the truth. You can't even make nothing better for yourself. That's why you're sitting there with 34 convictions, because you can't make nothing better for yourself. How are you going to do that for a nation? Donald Trump, and I'm going to say this again, what he's doing is very dangerous. If this man is willing to get up and lie every day to the American people, which he is doing, when something really is about to go down, you know what this bastard's going to do? He's going to go down in a bunker. And whatever happens, we're going to be above ground dealing with it all on our own. Because he's never going to tell you nothing of value. What he is doing every day in front of the American people is of no value. It's just lies on top of lies. There's no value in it. I don't even know why he keeps doing it. Nobody is benefiting from Donald Trump going before the cameras lying to everybody. Nobody's benefiting from this. So now this is what Donald Trump put out. Now I want y'all to hear what the Iranian president posted. He posted a 4-page letter to the American people. And he actually posted this ahead of Donald Trump's message, which you just heard, which was a load of BS. So let's get to that now. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. And this was posted out on X. And I believe Reddit had it as well, but it was posted out there for the American people. And he does a full, it's long and lengthy, but he does a full breakdown of what's really going on. Okay? And he's pretty much saying both Donald Trump and Netanyahu are deflecting from what the real problem is. Thank you for the ones, everybody. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank Biogenesis Research 787. Thank you for the new channel membership. And Ocean Soul. Thank you so much for the super chat. We got like mofos, so stop your lying. Ocean Soul, boy, you are full of fire. So anyway, let me go ahead and let's get into this letter, y'all. Let's get into it. All right. Thank you for the ones, everybody.
We've gotten a lot of interesting updates surrounding the conflict in Iran. The president is going live at 9 Eastern to give whatever ridiculous update he plans to on the situation. And in light of that, the president of Iran gave a statement that I think is going to be twice as important to keep in mind as rumors fly about boots on the ground and nuclear possibilities. The statement goes, "To the people of the United States of America and to all those who amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life, Iran, by this very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never in its modern history chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination, even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers. And despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war, yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present-day observable facts. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful, the need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic markets. In such an environment, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. And so that's the official word from Iran's president. Their government works different than ours. They have a supreme leader and a president under him. And while I'm taking pretty much any statement from either government with a grain of salt at this point, I will say that as far as what's being said and the philosophy that's being put out, only one side has really matched what they've been saying to what they've been doing. And it is not the U.S. They're still lying about stuff after a fact. They swore Iran bombed their own all-girl school. They swore people were going to go with that. Whole situation is something to keep your eye on. Our president is giving a speech around 9 p.m. Eastern. It's supposed to be an update around the conflict. No matter what they say up there, because they're saying a lot right now, that's the official word from the Iranians. I'm always posting about stories like these. Shoot me a follow to stay up to date.
The Iranian president penned an open letter to the people of the United States, titling it, "In the Name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful." Let's read what he wrote, because it's pretty powerful and we all need to hear it. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life. Iran, by the very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination, even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers. And despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war. Yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a
breaking news into the Don Lemon Show newsroom. The war in Iran is now escalating. The president of Iran, according to Reuters is reporting that Iran's president is about to release a very important letter to the American people. He's releasing that letter hours before Donald Trump is supposed to speak tonight to the American people at 9 p.m. Eastern. What is he going to say, Donald Trump? Who knows? What is in this letter? We don't know at this point, but we shall see very soon. But this is escalating. More details as we get them.
In a letter addressed to the American people, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian says the Iranian people harbor no hostility towards the American people, Europe, or neighboring countries, but attacking directly targets the Iranian people. Beyond constituting a war crime, such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. Is America first truly the priorities of the U.S. government today?
Iran's president has just released a very lengthy open letter to the American people ahead of Trump's speech tonight, and it is a direct attempt to shape how Americans are seeing this war. In the letter, he claims that Iran has, quote, never initiated a war in modern history, and says the country is being falsely portrayed as a threat for political and economic reasons. He points directly at the United States, arguing that the massive U.S. military presence around Iran is what is actually destabilizing the region, not Iran itself. He also goes back to history, calling out the 1953 U.S.-backed coup in Iran, support for the Shah, and backing Saddam Hussein as the root of deep distrust between the two countries. He uses Trump's own words against him and asks the following, quote, exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country, quote, back to the Stone Ages, serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States' global standing? The letter says that Iran pursued diplomacy, reached agreements, and notes that it was the United States that withdrew and escalated tensions, launching attacks during the negotiations. And here's one of the most striking warnings in the letter. He says, quote, attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people. Such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. He goes on to argue those consequences would mean greater instability, higher economic costs, and long-term resentment. The letter also accuses the U.S. of acting as a proxy for Israel, saying that Israel is pushing America into war to serve its own interests. And then it asks a direct question to Americans. Whose interest is this war really serving? Is America first truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? He asks. He says, quote, observe the many accomplished Iranian immigrants educated in Iran who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? He ends by urging Americans to look past what he calls the machinery of misinformation and says the world is now at a crossroads. The bottom line, this is Iran making its case directly to the American public just hours before Trump addresses the nation. Now, let me be clear. Obviously, this is Iranian propaganda, just like Trump's posts are his propaganda. And Iran has committed horrific crimes against its own people and others via proxy groups. There's no denying that. But it shows you how bad of a place that we're in right now when Iranian messaging aligns much more with the facts we're seeing in independent.
Okay, now, one of the things that he brought out, the president, he said that both Netanyahu and Donald Trump are both deflecting from things. Donald Trump is bringing this war to deflect from the Epstein files, and Netanyahu wants this war to deflect all of the genocide that's going on in Palestine. So both of these countries, presidents are deflecting from something negative. All right. So that is a point that these folks don't seem to be bringing out, but that is a big point that he brought up in the letter. So let's go on.
Reporting than Trump's constant claims that Iran is begging for a ceasefire and about to make a deal. Spread the word. Listen to the Midas Touch podcast for more.
Iran is now controlling the narrative. The president of Iran released an open letter to the American people. Let's go through it. Now, this is actually 4 pages, so I'm going to go through some of the highlights and let you take screenshots. First and foremost, he goes on to say the Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between the governments and the people they govern. That's a key point for the president of Iran to call that out specifically. And there you go. Take a screenshot. The letter then goes into the history of Iran and the relationship with America and the West, specifically the American intervention in 1953 that led to the installation of the Shah, which the Islamic Revolution overthrew in 1979. Relations between Iran and the United States were not originally hostile, and early interactions between the Iranian and American people were not marred with hostility or coup d'etat, an illegal American 1953 tension. The turning point, however, was the intervention aimed at preventing the nationalization of Iran's own resources. He also, interestingly, points out that the United States backed Saddam Hussein in Iraq during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. So think about that one. Moving on, this raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country, quote, back to the Stone Age, serve any purpose other than further damaging the United States' global standing? Again, take another screenshot, but a valid point and question. And then he closed out the letter. Is, quote, America first truly among the priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran. And again, he goes to mention that the world now stands at a crossroads, and continuing along this path of confrontation can be more costly and futile than ever before. This is all very interesting, considering Trump is expected to address the American people on Iran at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight, which is now essentially going to be a response to the Iranian government, which is why I said Iran is now controlling the narrative. The United States cannot even control the narrative of the war it started.
Iran's president has released a lengthy open letter to the American people, challenging the portrayal of his country in the ongoing conflict. In the letter, he insists that Iran has never initiated a war in modern history and blames the U.S. for falsely presenting it as a threat for political and economic reasons. The letter directly criticizes the U.S. military presence around Iran, claiming it is the real destabilizing force in the region. He points to U.S. actions like the 1953 coup and support for Saddam Hussein as the root of deep mistrust. He questions if the war is serving the American people's interests and condemns the destruction of civilian infrastructure and lives. Iran accuses the U.S. of acting as a proxy for Israel and urges Americans to think critically about the war's true purpose. This open letter is Iran's direct attempt to reach the American public, offering its perspective just hours before President Trump's address. What are your thoughts on Iran's approach to shaping the narrative? Do you think the American people are being misled? Let us know in the comments.
Iran wrote a letter to the American people today asking if we actually believe in this American first crap. Iran's president, I don't know how to pronounce his name, posted on X today. The main thing he's asking is, whose interest is this war actually serving? Because Iran says they fulfilled their nuclear deal, held up their end, and then the U.S. walked out mid-negotiations and bombed them. And on top of that, Trump got on Truth Social today and told everyone Iran's asking for a ceasefire. Iran's foreign ministry said that's false. So on the same day Trump is supposed to address the nation about this war, he's already putting out lies on social medias about it. I mean, like right now, gas is over $4. 61% of Americans are against this war. And now Iran's president is writing directly to us, going around the government, asking if America first is even real. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like we're spending American money and American lives on Israel's war.
The Iranian people must be underestimated. The continuation of the military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affect the people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth. When war inflicts imperishable harm in lives, homes, cities, and futures, people will not remain indifferent toward those responsible. This raises a fundamental question: exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war? Was there any objective threat from Iran to justify such behavior? Does the massacre of innocent children, the destruction of cancer treatment pharmaceutical facilities, or boasting about bombing a country back to the Stone Ages serve any purpose other than further damage the United States' global standing? Iran pursued negotiations, reached an agreement, and fulfilled all of its commitments. The decision to withdraw from that agreement, escalate toward confrontation, and launch 2 acts of aggression in the midst of negotiations were destructive choices made by the U.S. government, choices that served the delusions of foreign aggressors. Attacking Iran's vital infrastructure, including energy and industrial facilities, directly targets the Iranian people, beyond constituting a war crime. Such actions carry consequences that extend far beyond Iran's borders. They generate instability, increase human and economic costs, and perpetuate cycles of tension, planting seeds of resentment that will endure for years. This is not a demonstration of strength. It is a sign of strategic bewilderment and an inability to achieve sustainable solution. Is it not also the case that America has entered this aggression as a proxy for Israel, influenced and manipulated by that regime? Is it not true that Israel, by manufacturing an Iranian threat, seeks to divert global attention away from its crimes towards the Palestinians? Is it not evident that Israel now aims to fight Iran to the last American soldier and the last American tax-paying dollar shifted? Shifting the burden of its delusions onto Iran, the region, and the United States itself in pursuit of illegitimate interests is America first truly among priorities of the U.S. government today? I invite you to look beyond the machinery of misinformation, an integral part of this aggression, and instead speak with those who have visited Iran, observe the many accomplished Iranian immigrants educated in Iran, who now teach and conduct research at the world's most prestigious universities or contribute to the most advanced technology firms in the West. Do these realities align with the distortions you are being told about Iran and its people? Today, the world stands at crossroads. Continuing along the path of confrontation is more costly and futile than ever before. The choice between confrontation and engagement is both real and consequential. Its outcome will shape the future for generations to come. Throughout the millennia of our proud history, Iran has outlasted many aggressors. All that remains of them are tarnished names in history, while Iran endures, resilient, dignified, and proud.
We've gotten a lot of interesting updates.
The Iranian president penned an open letter to the people of the United States, titling it, "In the Name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful." Let's read what he wrote, because it's pretty powerful and we all need to hear it. To the people of the United States of America, and to all those who, amid a flood of distortions and manufactured narratives, continue to seek the truth and aspire to a better life. Iran, by the very name, character, and identity, is one of the oldest continuous civilizations in human history. Despite its historical and geographical advantages at various times, Iran has never, in its modern history, chosen the path of aggression, expansion, colonialism, or domination, even after enduring occupation, invasion, and sustained pressure from global powers. And despite possessing military superiority over many of its neighbors, Iran has never initiated a war. Yet it has resolutely and bravely repelled those who have attacked it. The Iranian people harbor no enmity towards other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries. Even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history, Iranians have consistently drawn a clear distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present-day observable facts. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful. The need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic narratives. In such an environment, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. Within this same framework, the United States has concentrated the largest number of its forces, bases, and military capabilities around Iran, a country that, at least since the founding of the United States, 250 years, has never initiated a war. Recent American aggressions launched from these very bases have demonstrated how threatening such a military presence truly is. Naturally, no country confronted with such conditions would forego strengthening its defensive capabilities. What Iran has done and continues to do is a measured response grounded in legitimate self-defense, and by no means an initiation of war or aggression on the lives of the resilient Iranian people must not be underestimated. The continuation of military aggression and recent bombings profoundly affects people's lives, attitudes, and perspectives. This reflects a fundamental human truth. When war inflicts irreparable harm on lives, homes, cities, and futures, people will not remain indifferent towards those responsible. This raises a fundamental question. Exactly which of the American people's interests are truly being served by this war?
Now, y'all, it's pretty sad when the foreign president makes more sense than the sitting president in the US, which sounds like every time he gets on TV, he's making everything up. I don't know. Are we supposed to be impressed with, we obliterated everything? They're dead. There's nothing left. Their Air Force is gone. Their Army is gone. Their Navy is gone. It's all gone. I mean, are we supposed to be impressed with that? Because he's fallen short big time. I'm not impressed. But one thing I do know, virtually everyone knows Donald Trump is full of crap when he gets on TV every day. He's full of crap. We shouldn't be getting that at all. What we should be getting is actual reports from the general. See, the general should get on TV and give you updates. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is what we were able to take over. This is what we were able to do. See, that's when you get your general in front of the mic. But since Donald Trump fired everybody, we got to listen to this man ramble on about the same damn thing every day. We annihilated this. We annihilated that. This is obliterated. That's obliterated. It's the same shit every day. It's the same thing every day. I mean, am I the only one that noticed this? We obliterated their army. There's nothing left. They're dead. The country's in chaos. Oh, everything's obliterated. And then when tomorrow comes, we obliterated this and we obliterate. It's the same thing every day. My goodness. Is his dementia really this bad? We're literally getting the same report every day we're getting. Am I on glue or something? I'm serious. If you play what this man says every single day, I might do that. I might put it back to back to back to back, and then we'll come and listen to what he said on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I promise you it's going to be the same message every single day. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put it all together, and then we're going to come back and listen. And y'all tell me if he says anything different on each day. But he's pretty much saying that Donald Trump and Netanyahu, Donald Trump was manipulated by Netanyahu to get in this war. And like I said to y'all before, both Netanyahu and Donald Trump got things to hide, the Epstein files and what's going on in Palestine. So using Iran to make them the bad guy is a deflection. So he even is acknowledging them coming after Iran is a deflection from what's going on with these two presidents. All right. And he acknowledges the relationship has not been good for quite some time, but it didn't start out that way. That's why he went back to prior to the Shah and everything coming into power. The U.S. and Iran actually had a good relationship back then. All right. And when Saddam Hussein came into power, the U.S. sided with Saddam Hussein. That kind of turned off Iran because, Iran and Iraq, they did not get along. But at the end of the day, the Iranian president made more sense in that letter than Donald Trump does on a daily basis with his propaganda before the American people. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to put each day together, and I want y'all to listen to each day. I'm telling you, y'all, it's the same damn message every day that he keeps getting on TV with. It's literally the same damn thing. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. I do have more people to thank. Eric Tinsley, 5777. Thank you for the super chat. Israel for Israel. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for your support for my channel, Ocean Soul. Thank you once again for your super chat. Don Lemon will feed Loretta. He is cool. Shout out to, hold on, True Royal. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support for my channel. Thank you. Man, I am outdone from Donald Trump and that rambling for 18 minutes of nothing. I mean, did he give us anything in that 18-minute speech? He didn't give us nothing. And that is the problem with Donald Trump. His speeches always come up short and empty. And you don't really gain any knowledge from no speech he gives. It is straight up propaganda in its true form. Now, there are still some diehard MAGAs over there on TikTok trying to get behind, oh, I agree with this whole thing. I said, okay, whatever. I mean, and then when you look at their videos, nobody's even watching that crap. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. I deeply appreciate it. Don't forget to pick up your hair products. And we will come back later on a whole different topic. Shalom, family.